Strange World is the latest film in the Disney revival era, so let's rank them all from worst to best. Hey everybody, my name is Justin here. I try to watch everything that hits theaters and on streaming services. If you guys are like me, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below for more up and coming content. There are 7 eras of Disney filmmaking, from the Golden Age in 1937 to 1942, and the Disney Revival era is the most recent one with 13 films. The first film in the Disney Revival era started in 2009 with The Princess and the Frog and has lasted all the way up until most recent film, Strange World. So we're going to be ranking all 13 of these films. Coming in last place is Winnie the Pooh. I do think this film is cute. I do love Winnie the Pooh. I like all of the characters within there. But when I look at all of the films in the revival era, they have a story to tell. And yes, Winnie the Pooh does have a singular story. And the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh film, the original version, felt like had different shorts that were throughout that film. This focuses on one story, and it's not the strongest story. It's quite simple, and I do like the story, and I do like the look of it. It is a film that bombed at the box office. It was released around the same time as Harry Potter, and it just feels like a film that is very forgettable when you look at all of the other films that were released around that time, like The Princess and the Frog, and the previous film that came before that being Tangled. So it feels like an odd place in here. It feels a little bit too late for a Winnie the Pooh film, like it should have came out much longer ago, but I still enjoy the film and I still enjoy the animation, and it was the last one of its style. So it's a film that I do enjoy, but it's just easy to forget about this film. Coming in 12th place is WreckIt Ralph 2. The first film succeeded in building that relationship between Ralph and Vanellope, but in the second film, they're off doing their own thing and exploring new parts of this universe created in WreckIt Ralph. And so we have a chance for them to grow as individual characters, but that first film showed us how important they are as friends. And so we spent a lot of time with them alone, and the stories by themselves are not that entertaining. They bounce around quite often trying to figure out what they want out of life, and the stories for them are just so short, and the pacing is very quick to really don't feel that impact from their stories within here. The animation still is really good. At times there's some fun action scenes and some references to other Disney films and the princesses. Those scenes are a lot of fun, but by separating these characters, doing their own thing makes for the pacing to be really quick. You have to have short sequences for both as they're trying to grow as individual characters. And I just want more of them together because that worked in that first film, but did not work in the second film. Coming in 11th place is Raya and the Last Dragon. I've only seen Raya and the Last Dragon a couple times. I think the tone for it is off. All the moments with Raya and her story seem darker. And then we have Awkwafina's character in the film, the dragon. That's where it's more comedic and silly. Where we have Raya, her story felt very grounded and mature, and the moments with the dragon did not. So the tone is very off with this film, and I'm not able to feel invested in Raya's journey. And there is a lot of scenes in here. While there are some scenes that are enjoyable, a lot of the scenes drag, and there aren't as many enjoyable moments in this film. I felt like for a journey film, there was a lacking of excitement to it. The visuals are great. The characters are fun. I like Raya, and I like this dragon in here too. Even though the tone for it felt off compared to the rest of the film, I still think Awkwafina provided a really fun voice performance within here. And all the other characters that we meet along the way, those are characters that are enjoyable as well. But it's not a story or film that I found myself wanting to rewatch. Whenever I turn on Disney Plus and want to watch a Disney animated film, I'm choosing classics. I'm choosing films like Tangled or Moana from this revival era. Definitely not Raya and the Last Dragon. Coming in 10th place is Frozen 2. I was not the biggest fan of Frozen 2. over the years, I've realized how much I do not like Elsa as a character. My daughter really loves the Frozen films, and so we've watched them many times. And I realized that Elsa is a character that is really self-centered. And that first film, she was like that as well. And we took a lot of time to get her out of that mindset and learn to be a sister to Anna. In the second film, she does it again. She goes off on her own journey, pushes her sister aside so she can get what she wants in that second film. And it's just really hard to like this character in this film. Everything else is really great. I like Anna. I like Olaf, Kristoff, Sven. Those are really fun characters. And the music is good. Nowhere as catchy as Let It Go or Love is an Open Door, but the songs are good. The singing is great in here. The visuals are once again amazing. It's a little bit darker compared to that first film, but still the story feels a little bit repetitive when we have Elsa going off to try to find something that is calling for her. And we felt like we had that in that first film. I did like the exploration of the past with her parents. I feel like that fit well into this movie, but it's not a film that I'm going to revisit over and over again. I will because of my daughter, but on my own, it's a film that I'm just kind of staying away from. Coming in 9th place is Strange World. This is the most recent Disney animated film. I think it's fine. I think that the sci-fi elements and the adventure feel to it is there. It's solid. I love the third act and the reveal to this strange world. The fathers in here, voiced by Dennis Quaid and Jake Gyllenhaal, are not good parents. They are constantly telling their sons what to do, and it has a lot to do with family legacy and choosing your own path. We have that environmental message in here, caring for animals. I feel like at times this film takes on a little too much, and certain messages don't have time to flourish. And at times they are introducing new messages without completing the previous one or having a solid story for it. So many times within the film, I feel like I'm just getting these different messages thrown at me about families and environments, so many things just left and right. The visuals are great. The designs for the monsters are creative. I like that adventure feel to it, but I wasn't invested in the characters and their story within here. So I left the film happy, but also a little bit disappointed. Coming in at number 8 is Frozen. This film was huge when it was released, and I really liked it when it was first released. Like I said, over the years, watching it several times, I found there are some flaws with the film, coming mostly from Elsa. I'm not going to repeat myself, you already know how I felt about her. But I really like Anna's character in here and her relationship with Kristoff. The songs in here are fun. And you have Anna, who's been kind of like stuck in this castle with her sister. Of course, she's going to fall in love with the first person she meets because it's all really new to her. So I like that she starts to kind of realize things about herself and how she can be a little more independent, and she is starting to meet these new characters and she's starting to have fun. I really like that aspect to it, and she wants to protect her sister. So there is that relationship that is off for most of the film, but you feel that genuine connection between the two, and they have to kind of work for that. The songs in here from Olaf and Love is an Open Door and Let It Go are iconic for Disney. They are popular for all the right reasons. It has a good twist at the end. It's a story about sisters, and I really like that. I think they touch upon it very nicely at the end of the film, and there's a lot of development for that, but I really do not like Elsa as a character. It's a fun film. I've seen it a lot throughout the years, so it's not one that I want to watch over and over again. Now, coming in at number 7 is WreckIt Ralph. This was such a fun film with Ralph and Vanellope, and that relationship just felt genuine and a lot of fun. They had to work towards it, had a really nice development. I love the references to other video games like Bowser in here, and the video game jumping was so fun in here. That arcade style was just a blast. The soundtrack is in your face. It's a lot of fun, but this film is very quick and I love the pacing for it. You just get to understand these characters and develop that relationship and have some fun scenes along the way. The voice acting is great. John C. Reilly and Sarah Silverman are perfect in here. They really play off of each other very well. You also feel that genuine connection in here. I really like this film. I wish that the sequel would have been just like this, but with a different story, but that just didn't have that same charm as this first film did, with those references, that soundtrack, that video game feel to it, the races, all of it was just a lot of fun. You felt like the story was growing as the same time as the characters, and it just had that perfect balance in here. Coming in sixth place is Princess and the Frog. I like Tiana's story in here about working hard for what you want. It's a very important message. It's filled with light-hearted sequences, great visuals, really catchy scenes, but a journey for Tiana that she doesn't feel like she's changing as a character. Yes, she turns into a frog, but she still has that mindset of really working hard for what you want. She's never going to give up, and that character growth is so perfect in here. Prince Naveen is also a fun character in here, completely different than Tiana, but as frogs has some enjoyable moments along the way. Coming in fifth place is Encanto, but I really like Mirabel as a character. She realizes that she's different than her family. Every family member of hers has a unique power, but she does not. But she still loves her family. And that says a lot about this character. It easily could have been a story about her hating her family and her being like a villain of the story. But she adores her family so much. And I absolutely love that about this film with Mirabel. And I love that the film is focused on family and connection to the past and learning to trust each other. It's all presented nicely within this film. All the characters in here, all the family members have a unique story to tell and something that they are struggling with as well. There are some realistic storylines in here, especially the older sister and what she has to do to protect her family and how everybody relies on her and how it's just weighing on her, and how the other sister wants to be creative but she feels like she's stuck. There's so many different storylines in here, especially for Bruno as well, that we see how this large family is starting to kind of weigh down these characters, and they all have things that they're struggling with, but they've been hiding it. Through song, mostly, we have these characters having this chance to express how they are feeling about being part of this family. While they do love it, there are some struggles along the way, and it's a very realistic story filled with great music, a very emotional end to the film, and a fun house that they utilize very well. And the songs are implemented nicely within here. Coming in fourth place is Zootopia. I love the world building in Zootopia, exploring all the different territories and the animals and how they work together as a city. Some animals, the predators and the prey, are not relying on each other and kind of keep their distance. But when characters Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde start to work together, we can kind of see that the prey and predator can be together. And I like how the film explores the differences but also the similarities as well. The film's got a really fun pace to it, and the characters that Judy and Nick encounter throughout the film, like the sloth, just add to this world. But I like the growth between Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde. That's where the film is the strongest, when you look at their similarities and their differences and how they can rely on each other and trust each other as well. You see that stories start to become very strong once we have more of them together. And Judy Hopps is a character that will never give up, and she's determined as can be. And I like that about her. And Nick Wilde takes the easy way out for it, and so they have to utilize each other's personalities to work together to solve this mystery within Zootopia. So the world building in here, all the different animals, and the music in here, the score is great. It's a lot of fun. Coming in third place is Big Hero 6. I love Baymax. He's such an adorable character in here. The voice for Baymax is so cute. but it's got a dramatic story in here, especially in the beginning with Hero's brother and the loss of him. I mean, when we're using Baymax in here to kind of connect the two brothers, and it's got a really heartwarming story in here, but also we have these characters that kind of come together to form this team. It's got a really fun superhero feel to it. Big Hero 6 has been a thrilling, fun film filled with those classic, adorable Disney characters and characters that you just want to watch and characters that you feel connected to. We have that in here. It does have a very typical villain story in here, and it's very predictable, but I can overlook that for the most part. Coming in second place is Tangled. The story of Rapunzel feels fresh. It doesn't feel like the classic story. There's a lot of things implemented in here, but also utilizing that classic story. Rapunzel is such a fun character. We have some really good songs for her in the beginning when we realize that she feels stuck. She wants to get out of this castle. And we have Flynn Rider in here, voiced by Zachary Levi. He's fun as well, but this is a story when we see her go out into the world and explore everything and how excited she is. We're just right there with her. The tone is very lighthearted and the story for her is very personal. We have that villain in here. We know the agenda right away. There should be no surprises that come with it besides the family aspect to it. But this is a film that is really focused on the characters, the growth, the music, that fairy tale story. It works so much in here. And coming in first place is Moana. This is a beautifully animated film with a very good story for Moana and Maui, seeing these characters grow and how important Moana's journey is to her. We see in the beginning that she doesn't want this role that she's kind of forced into. She wants to be able to show that she's capable of doing much more. But when she goes off in this journey, we see how strong she is as a character, and we see her interact with Maui, voiced by Dwayne Johnson, and his character is growing as well. He acts as though he's very confident, but there's a good majority of the film where there's challenges thrown at Maui, and we have to see him kind of overcome those and learn how to be confident and believe in himself, mixed in with some of the best Disney songs over the last few years, and beautiful animation and great voice acting and chemistry between our two main characters, and fun side characters along the way. Some big animated sequences that make it feel thrilling. This is one of the best Disney animated films. I think it's in my top 12 Disney animated films of all time. I absolutely love Moana, and it's easily one that I could rewatch without getting tired of it. So there you guys have it, all 13 Disney Revival era films ranked worst to best. How would you rank them? Let me know in the comment section down below, and stay tuned for more up and coming content like this. My name is Justin Watches Movies, and you guys stay classy, YouTube.